Good evening, good noon, all of you. How are you all? I am Nikita and I welcome you to this session. Let tenses not tense you. It's a grammar session. We are going to talk about tenses, but instead of just giving you the concepts theoretically, I'm going to make you learn these concepts through questions. Right? So that's the objective. So we'll practice questions, we'll see the kinds of grammar questions that come in our exams, and we'll, of course, learn tenses through those questions. Okay, so welcome to the session. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to all of you. All right, let's begin. So, tenses. Yes. Which part of speech actually changes its tense? Yes. Can you tell me? Which part of speech changes its tense? So, it's not the entire sentence that changes its tense, isn't it? So, for instance, if I say, let me just write it here itself before I show you the first question. If I say that uh, Ria dances, right? Now, this is in the present tense. If I want to change it to the past tense, the subject does not change at all, isn't it? Ria remains Ria. It is only the verb that changes its tense, right? So, or if I say Ria goes to a party, then if I want to change it to the past tense, it becomes Ria went to a party. So, Ria and to a party remain the same. It's just the verb that changed its tense. So, tenses are a property of a verb. Absolutely correct, Sahil. All right. Uh, Shivam, just check your schedule once in the app. You get your schedule, so that will let you know. Okay, so whether you have a class at 9 today or not. All right. So tenses is a property of verb. We are clear with this. Now, let's see whether these sentences are correct. If not, which sentence here is correct? You have to tell me that. Yes. Let's see what you say. You have to spot the correct sentence here. 1 out of 4 of these sentences is correct. So, I am throwing you in the deep straight away, teaching you the usage of tenses because that's what matters for your exams, the usage, whether you know how to use them or not. Nobody's going to ask you the rules. Okay, which form of verb will apply here? Nobody's going to ask you that. All right. Achal says D is correct. Okay. KM says A is correct. Then Shivam says A is correct. There she is going. Okay. So, see this. You can see that this is in the present tense. This is in the present tense, right? Even this is in the present tense. This is present continuous, right? So that means this question is trying to teach you something about the present tense. Okay. So you know this that usually we use the present tense when we are talking about habits. Yes, a person's habits, a person's routine. For universal truths, we use the present simple tense, isn't it? Present simple tense. So, however, apart from its use for habits, apart from its use for universal truths, there is one more use of the present simple tense, right? So, apart from saying that, okay, she exercises every day, apart from saying that the earth revolves around the sun, I can also use it to talk about schedules. I can use the present simple tense to talk about schedules, particularly calendrical schedules for which you get a timetable. For instance, a train schedule, a flight schedule, or a plane schedule, right? Or let's say if your semester follows a certain schedule every time. So for those schedules, I can use the present simple tense. For instance, there is a 7-Eleven store near your place, right? It opens every day at 7 a.m., closes at 11 p.m. So now it's, let's say, 12 at midnight. So what will you say? The store opens at 7 a.m. tomorrow? or the store will open at 7 a.m. tomorrow? Yes. So ideally, I should say the store will open at 7 a.m. tomorrow because I'm talking about the future, tomorrow. Yes, so I should say will open. However, because it follows a schedule, I know at what point tomorrow it's going to open. I can even use the present simple tense with it. So the next flight is at 7 tomorrow morning because it is following a schedule, because it's a pre-arranged event, right? It seems like that, okay, everything regarding this has been planned. That's why it's going to follow a schedule. I can use the present simple with it. So there's nothing wrong with this sentence. It is actually the correct sentence here. B. Okay, good Ayushi. B is the correct sentence. Now, what's wrong with the others? Okay, so because I am talking to you about the uses of present simple tense, there is one more use of present simple tense. In exclamatory sentences, those that have an exclamation mark, that begin with here or there, beginning with here or there. So this begins with there, it's an exclamatory sentence. Here we cannot use the present continuous tense. I have to use the simple tense, okay? Wakes up, exercises, dances, okay, sings, that form. I cannot use the is going form. I cannot use the continuous form. So there she goes and not there she is going. Okay, so A is incorrect, B is correct. Let's look at C. All right. If it will rain, we will get wet. Is it correct? See, if it will rain, we will get wet. See, if I look at its Hindi translation, then in Hindi we say this, अगर बारिश होगी तो गीला हो जाएगा, right? So both are events of the future. I agree with you there. And if both are events of the future, we should use will in both the cases. However, in English, it does not work like that. When we talk about conditions expressing future events, when we talk about conditions expressing future events, it's only in the outcome clause, only in the outcome case that I use the future tense. In the condition case, I use the present simple tense again. So, if it rains, we will get wet. Good, Harshada, good. Correct, Harshada. For the next one also, understand. Understand is a verb. When used as a verb, you cannot use it in the continuous tense. See, either you understand something or you do not understand something, right? Understanding is not something, I mean, as a verb, it's not an action that goes on, okay, that can be in progress. Either you get it or you do not get it. So, do you understand what I am saying? Do you understand? This is how I should put it. For instance, to give you another example, see, either you recognize someone when you see them or you do not recognize them. We never say, I am recognizing him, right? So, mental processes. Similarly, either you know something or you do not know something. You cannot say, I am knowing this, right? We never use it in the continuous sense. So these are certain verbs of cognition, of mental processes of understanding that you cannot use in the continuous tense, present continuous tense. You have to use the present simple with them. Okay, so you learned so many uses of the present simple through this question. Exclamatory sentences, schedules, right? Conditions, where in the conditional clause, when we are talking about the future events, we'll use the present simple. Then certain verbs that cannot be used in the continuous tense. So all your questions today are packed like this. I am trying to teach you a concept through every question. Yes. What about this one? Tell me. A simple question, yes. After a after a heavy question, here's a simple question for you. Ashmita says B, Yogita B. All right, I want more responses. This is an easy one. Okay, all right. So You do get fill in the blanks in your exams. It is the most ubiquitous question type out there, right? Be it vocabulary based fill in the blanks, be it grammar based fill in the blanks. So in all your OMETs, other management entrance tests apart from CAT, if you pick them up, you will see fill in the blank questions and grammar based fill in the blanks as well. And they can be based on tenses. You are absolutely correct in saying has. Vinay has a laptop. So just like I told you that certain verbs of cognition, of understanding, such as to understand. When I say understanding, I'm using it as a noun. Remember, some of you must be wondering, oh, ma'am is using understanding but is asking us not to use it. I am using it as a noun here. Okay, we have an understanding between us, right? So, yes, I was saying that just like certain verbs of cognition cannot be used in the continuous tense, similarly, when we own something, when we possess something, right, when we have something in the sense of owning and possessing, we cannot use this in the continuous tense. Okay, so I can't say I am owning a car. No, I own a car. I possess a car. I have a car. Okay, if I say I am having a car, you know, have can be used in the continuous tense. It's not like have cannot be used in the continuous tense, but the meaning becomes entirely different. If I say I am having a burger, that means I am eating a burger. If I say I am having a good time, that means I am experiencing a good time. Okay. So in that case, it's used in the sense of eat, experience, and not possess or own. Clear to everyone? All right. So I think is having incorrect, has been owning incorrect, was having incorrect. Okay, then let's have a look at this one. You have to find the incorrect sentence. Three of them are correct. Okay, just one is incorrect. All right. Ashmita says B is incorrect. Why? Asha, what is your reason for saying B? I understand. What is your reason? Rahul says D is incorrect. Okay, others? All right, nobody's giving me a reason. Hmm. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, is always running. That is the reason. Okay. Now, uh, let's see. My sister is going to have a baby. So you think that this is correct, and you are right in thinking that this is correct. But can anyone tell me the difference between is going to and will? Why did I not say my sister will have a baby? Why am I saying my sister is going to have a baby? And what does that tell me about the sister? Correct, Harshada, correct. D is the erroneous one. I'll tell you why B is not erroneous. So, when I say my sister will have a baby, I'm just saying, okay, in the future, at some point, she will have a baby, right? That's what she plans. But is going to is more certain. Okay, it is expressing a future event, but it is more certain. It means that she is pregnant. Okay, when I say my sister is going to have a baby, this means that she is pregnant. So, uh, when I say it will rain, so it's just a prediction on my part, correct? KM, you are absolutely right. It will rain. But when I say it is going to rain, probably I have seen thick dark clouds in the air. In the okay, thick dark clouds are outside, not in the air. So that is why I'm saying that it is going to rain. Is going to is more certain. Okay. Now coming to B. So into, onto, on, etc. Okay. All right, Karthik. I'll take it. I'll take it up. Okay. See. First, let's look at this question. Her dog is very silly. So this part, I think everybody feels this is fine. Then I've put a semicolon here because I'm joining two complete sentences. When you join two complete sentences, you cannot join them using a comma. You have to put a semicolon. Either a semicolon or a comma plus a conjunction such as and, but, etc. So comma needs the help of a conjunction, whereas semicolon can be used by itself. Semicolon is more powerful that way, right? So her dog is very silly. Now some students have a problem here. They say it's a dog. For animals we use it. So how come are you using he? And it's a very pertinent question. For animals in general, you should use it. Okay. However, when we talk about people's pets, we can use he or she depending on the gender. Okay, so for people's pets, it is okay to use he or she. In fact, this sentence is very similar to a sentence that I saw in Ren and Martin, and then I investigated that why is Ren and Martin using he with a dog when it itself says that we should use it with animals. Okay, so because for pets, we can use he. Okay, now you must be thinking, why am I using the continuous tense unnecessarily? Is always running. He always runs out into the road should be used because we just discussed this, no, that for habits we use the present simple, so it should be he always runs, isn't it? So there is an exception to this idea of using habits for present simple tense. What is that exception? When we talk about persistent annoying habits, when we talk about persistent annoying habits, we do not use the present simple, we rather use the present continuous. So let's say there is a student in my class who, instead of paying attention to the session, has opened other tabs and is surfing the internet right now. And this is a habit with the student, right? So what will I say? He is always surfing the internet during the class. Okay, so not that he always surfs. Hope this is clear. Figure of speech, unique figures of speech are different. This is part of speech. You want to ask the part of speech. About is a preposition. Okay. All right. Now quickly on versus onto and in versus into, because one of you has asked this. See this. Both are prepositions on and in. On, it means that something is in contact, something is at a higher position and in contact with another thing. In rather shows that something is in an area. So in is called the preposition of area, on is called the preposition of surface, right? Into indicates movement and onto indicates movement. So if I say the book is lying on the table, I cannot say the book is lying onto the table. Onto indicates movement. The book fell onto the floor is correct. The book fell on the floor is also fine, but here I can use onto as well because there is movement, right? But the book is lying onto the table will be incorrect. Onto indicates movement. Similarly, he jumped into the pool, movement. He is in the house. Okay, I cannot say he is into the house because there's no movement there. So that's the difference. On surface, in area, onto movement, into movement. Okay, all right. Now, coming to C and D, I am thinking of having lunch. This is absolutely correct. See, I am thinking because you are talking about now when I talk about my beliefs, I think this is correct. I think this is not correct. I think this should be done. So that is simply my opinion and my belief. Here I am talking about this is my opinion, this is my belief. In that sense, I cannot use think in the continuous tense. But when I am actually mulling over something, considering something, in that case, I can use it in the continuous tense. So no error here. Okay. All right. Then coming to the this one, this is incorrect. The moment you use an adverb of time, the moment you specify the time, you cannot use the present perfect there. You cannot say has gone there. Vinay went to Goa last week. Okay, so this is why D was incorrect. Whenever you mention a specific point of time, then you cannot use the perfect tense there. Okay, you have to use the simple tense there. Simple आएगा, past simple. Okay, because you're treating time like a point. Simple tense treats time like a point. Okay, so that is why with an adverb of time we have to use the simple tense. Clear to everyone? So far, so good. Some of these questions are a little heavy. A lot is going on. Okay, let's go to the next one then. Fill in the blank. Now, an easy question again. Yes. Oh, I am sorry. Just a second. I'm thinking of having lunch. Yes. No, no, बच्चे C is correct. D is incorrect. D में तो went आएगा ना. Vinay went to Goa last week. So C is fine. These three are fine. D is incorrect. Okay. B, all right. So my aunt will arrives tomorrow does not make sense. Yes, will arrives. With will, you just use the base form of the verb. Will arrive, will go. We never say will goes. Then arrive, my aunt arrived tomorrow. Aunt is singular, right? So here you can't use the plural. So again eliminated. Now B versus A. Will have been arriving. Why to complicate it so much? This is future perfect continuous. Future perfect continuous. We use it in very specific circumstances. We use it to indicate that a certain action will begin at a certain point in the future and will continue up to a later time. That's when it is used. That context is not at all there, right? So A to gaya, it is B. My aunt is arriving tomorrow. Now you must be wondering, why am I saying is arriving when it is tomorrow? Should I not say will arrive tomorrow? So both are correct. However, if it is a pre-arranged activity, if arrangements have been made such that it is more or less certain only, it's a pre-arranged event, a pre-arranged activity, in that case, you can use the present continuous. You can use the present continuous. Right? Just like our friends ask us, are you coming tomorrow? Are you coming to the party tomorrow? They ask us this, no? So why are they saying are you coming? Why do they not say will you come? Because it's a pre-arranged event, right? So that's why. Clear to everyone? Okay. Now let's come to this one. You have to find the correct sentence here. Okay, 3 sentences are given to you. Got a couple of responses. Others? All right. That's it. B. Just a couple, just how many? Okay, 6 responses. 7. Okay, all right. So, we will know our exam results in January. This is absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with it. Yes. So, this is not a very difficult question, to be honest. Then, 3 says she has decided to sell her car as she will buy a bike. Even this is fine. So, she has decided something because she has a future plan. So, 2 and 3 are absolutely fine. Okay. How about 1? Dia always carried an umbrella. This is also fine. This is not an annoying habit, right? It's simply a past habit. It's a past habit, but it's not an annoying habit. It's not a persistently annoying habit. So I don't need to use the continuous tense here. So if let's say in the past this was Diya's habit, I can say Diya always carried an umbrella. So should it be B then? One is wrong. Why? Why is one wrong? Okay, some of you must be thinking that I should write it this way. Diya used to carry an umbrella. Both are correct actually. Phrasing it this way, Diya used to carry an umbrella is also fine. And Diya always carried an umbrella is also fine. See, just like you express the present habits in the present simple tense, how will you express somebody's past habits? Okay, habits that were there in the past through the past simple. Okay, so nothing wrong. Acha, you are thinking that it should be in the present. It could be a past habit also, no? It could be a past habit also. They always carried an umbrella. Okay, so that is why there's nothing wrong with it. This just indicates that it is a past habit, and past habits take past simple tense. Clear? D. Delhi. All are correct. Okay, so I understand that when a context is absent, when we do not know what is being discussed, when we do not know whether we are discussing a person's present habits or past habits, it can become slightly tricky. However, how you have to attempt your sentence correction questions is there an an obvious error, the kind of error. So this becomes situational. If it's a present habit, we can use carries. If it's a past habit, we can use carried. Then we'll not count it as an error. If it is absolutely incorrect in all circumstances, then we'll count it as an error. Okay? Hence, all are correct. Okay. Now, how about this one? Karthik, I'm afraid I do not have access to the entire paper, right, to all the questions. So I don't think we'll be discussing the paper as such. Okay, so I've got A, all right. A lot of A's in the chat box. Easy question. So fill in the blanks are usually easy. For several months. So for and since followed by a time reference are your clue. For and since followed by a time reference are your clue that either the perfect tense will be used here or the perfect continuous tense will be used here. What is perfect? The third form of the verb. Perfect continuous, third form plus the ing form, right? So basically has plus been drinking, let's say, had been drinking, will have been drinking. That is perfect continuous. Now, will not have seen. We will not have seen him for several months. Okay. Versus we have not seen him for several months. You are absolutely right in choosing A here. See, even though this is also perfect and this is also perfect, this makes more sense logically that we have not seen him for several months, because when we use the future perfect continuous, it is followed by more explanation. So let's say by 2025 we will not have seen him for several months. Now it makes more sense. Yes, when is it that you will not have seen him for several months? Okay, so by 2025 we will not have seen him for several months. Okay, or when Christmas arrives, we will not have seen him for several months. This makes more sense. We need some additional context when we use the future perfect continuous, right? So, but for the present perfect, we do not need this context, because I know that by what point am I talking? By the present point only. That अब इस टाइम पर ये टाइम हो चुका है जब हमने उसको बहुत टाइम से नहीं देखा है, बहुत मंथ से नहीं देखा है. सो आई एम इन द प्रेजेंट मोमेंट एंड आई डू नॉट नीड दिस एडिशनल कॉन्टेक्स्ट देयर, right? And that's why I'll prefer A here. Now, other questions. Why not C? Why not D? First of all, C is a verb that you do not use in the continuous tense. See, either you see someone or you do not see someone. Okay, I see him. I can see this pen. I am seeing this pen is incorrect. I am seeing this pen. No, don't use that. Okay. When you use see in the continuous tense, it means that you're dating someone. So I am seeing him would mean that I am dating him, right? So otherwise, you do not use see in the continuous tense. Okay. So I hope this is clear to you, and A is the answer here. All right. You either see someone or you do not see someone. Okay. Now, so far so good. Can we move ahead? Let's look at this error spotting question. Let me see what you say. If anything is not clear, the perfect tense, the perfect continuous tense, you can always ask. Remember that. Okay, be confirmed. All right. Good, Yogita. I mean, I like the confidence. Others? B, all right. Just two responses. Come on. Error spotting questions are the most exciting, in my opinion. You just have to spot an error. You don't even have to correct it. Okay. I've got a 3. All right. Okay. So, C. Okay. 3, that means. All right. So this is a sentence in the past tense that I can see. Okay, which form in the past? Let's have a look at it. This is actually past perfect continuous. When do we use past perfect continuous? When we want to talk about a certain action. Okay, so let's say this entire line represents past. Okay, now in this on this line also I can spot different points of time. No, this can be an earlier, this action happened earlier in the past, this action happened later in the past. Quite possible. No, let's say it's quite possible that you bought a book a month ago but then you started reading it a week ago. So this buying action happened earlier and reading action happened later. So in the past also I may want to categorize actions like this: earlier, later. So this is, it represents the earlier action and this represents the later action, right? Okay. Now, let's say this action began at this point, this earlier action began at this point, and it went on, it continued till this point, and maybe will continue later also. We don't know about the future, right? About this point, we don't know about this, but we know that an action began at an earlier point in the past and began and went on till a second action happened. Okay, so in this case we use the present perfect continuous. Okay, so Diya had been writing. So she began writing here. This action kept on happening. It continued. That's why continuous. Okay. It continued till another point. What was that point? The manuscript getting accepted. So with this we use had. With this we do not use had. Remember this. So that's your first error. है ना? So C erroneous है. We know this for sure. All right. Moreover, with a duration of time, 5 years is a duration, right? It's a period of time. We do not use since. When is since used? With a point of time. Since is used with a point of time. So if I say since 1991, that's a point of time. Since Thursday, point of time. But I can't say since 5 years, since 2 months. That's wrong. Here I should use for 5 years, for 2 months. This is a period. Okay. Since February, absolutely fine. So, hope this makes sense to you. B and C, you are right. 2 is the erroneous one. Right? Those who said 2, absolutely correct. So, Dia had been writing for 5 years. Dia had been writing for 5 years when her first manuscript got accepted. Imagine her happiness. So, here we'll use the past simple and here the past perfect. Continuous. चलो सबको क्लियर है क्रिस्टल क्लियर वी कैन मूव अहेड okay let's have a look at this you have to spot the incorrect sentence here okay okay D Delhi is what you say 1 and 3 you say are incorrect okay others I want more responses come on A all right A says only 2 is incorrect incorrect we have to spot okay I want more responses see I could give you easy questions also on tenses but then through that you would not have learned much isn't it okay D A all right okay so majority says D let's have a look if I were the president I would pass this proposal so first of all you can see that these are conditional sentences whenever you have this if present that means it's a conditional sentence yes we just saw one conditional if it rains it will get wet if it rains it will get wet or I will get wet whatever it was right now this represents what we call a real condition okay what is a real condition things that we feel they can actually happen right here we are talking about real conditions in real conditions also there can be two things so here I am talking about a future event okay whereas you could talk about general truths also you can talk about general truths also so for instance if you boil if water reaches 0 degree Celsius it freezes now this is a general truth right it's not a future event that I'm talking about this is a general truth so in case I'm talking about a general truth I use the present simple both in both the cases if water reaches 0 degree Celsius it freezes ओके जनरल ट्रूथ है ये हमेशा ही होता है राइट वेयर एज This is a future event. If it rains, it will get wet. Okay. Usually, I mean, if you want to express this also as a general truth, you can, because usually when it rains, it gets wet. Okay. But let's say you're talking particularly about the floor of your room, right? Then it's not a general truth, right? Then you have to use the future event wala. So here we use the future tense, whereas here we use the present simple tense. तो ये तो हो गई हमारी real conditions. But in this question, I am not talking about real conditions. Then what am I talking about? Let's have a look. I am talking about hypothetical conditions, imaginary conditions. What are these hypothetical imaginary conditions? Okay, let's say something is not true in the present. Okay, so for instance, if let's say currently I am not the president of our country. Yes, currently I'm not the president of our country. So I'm just imagining what if right now instead of Draupadi Murmu, I were the president. Okay, so I'm thinking if I were the president, I would pass this proposal. So it's a hypothetical conditional, and hypothetical conditionals are a little moody. Okay, they do not follow the rules of tenses. So there, so I mean, in this sentence, I cannot use was. It has to be were, and here in the outcome, it has to be would. So for something that is untrue in the present, untrue in the present, when I want to express it using a conditional, I will use were in the condition and would in the outcome. So there's nothing wrong with one. One में कुछ भी wrong नहीं है. D is not the answer. Okay. Now, let's say uh, I am talking about the time of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, right? So I'm not talking about the present time, I'm talking about the past time. At that point, also, some proposal was not passed. And if, let's say, I had been in the place of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, I would have passed it. Okay, so just imagining things, right? So we can imagine to be anyone. So if something is untrue in the past, now, this was untrue in the past, right? I was not a president back then. Then we use this structure. If I had been the president, no, at that time, I would have passed this proposal. तब हो जाता ये had been or would have. ठीक है? So untrue in the past, had been, would have. Untrue in the present, were and would. ये थोड़ा simpler है. And both are correct. 1 and 2 are correct. Just a second. So we have to spot the incorrect one, no? So 1 and 2 are correct. So then we've got our answer also. B is our answer. Because had I been is just another way to write if I had been. Instead of writing if I had been, you can write had I been also. It's an interchangeable way of writing the same thing. ठीक है? तो अब यहाँ पर भी क्या आना चाहिए? Had been के साथ क्या आएगा? Would have. Always. With had been, we use would have. So that's why B is the answer here. Read the instructions very, very carefully. That's why I've given you both the kinds of questions. Find the correct sentence, find the incorrect sentence. ठीक है? अच्छा, सबको ये क्लियर है? ये सारी कहानी जो भी मैंने सुनाई है, real conditionals of two types, general truths, future events. Hypothetical conditionals again can be of two types, untrue in the present, untrue in the past. Okay? ठीक है? So far so good? Yes, I word does not sound common because people avoid using it. Even in songs, when they're imagining things, they do not use were. They've started using was. So in informal English, it's accepted. It's acceptable to use was even in hypothetical situations. But informal English, no. Okay? Yes. Tell me. Spot the error here. Okay, Prajal says A. I was. Rishi, I was is used in normal sentences. Acha, you were saying in this question, Rishi, I was waiting. Okay, so option D, which is fourth. All right. What else? बस एक ही response. What has happened to you guys? This is the second last question, okay? So, anyway, we are about to wrap up the session. I want more enthusiastic responses from your end. Hmm. Okay. A, B, all right. Notice the since. What did I tell you? That when you have since with a time reference, what does that mean? It's your clue that either the perfect tense should be used or the perfect continuous tense should be used. Perfect and perfect means has, had, the third form of the verb. Perfect continuous is the third form of the verb plus an ing structure. तो अब यहाँ पर तो नहीं यूज हुआ perfect tense. I am waiting for him since 10 a.m. This is incorrect. It should be I have been waiting. Have, had, has. These are the perfect structures. I have been waiting for him since 10 a.m. Okay, so A is erroneous, definitely. Then I am expecting that he must have reached the metro station by now. See, I believe something, I suppose something, I think. This is my opinion. Remember, we do not put it in the present continuous tense. I expect. Okay. I expect that he must have. So I think, basically, this is what I'm saying. I think he must have reached the metro station by now. Will you say this? I am thinking that he must have reached the metro station by now. No. I believe this. I suppose. I think. I expect. So you're absolutely right. Those of you who said 4. Correct, Rishi. Prajal, good. D is the answer. Yes, so a simple concept in this one. Now, the last one, the easy question, fill in the blank. Let's see what you say. We did this, right? Just a second. This is the repetition. Sorry. So, the question that I wanted to ask was this. Okay. Mm. Hmm. Yes, so the by mistake, this one has got repeated. But how is this happening? Wait, I think there's some problem with my slide. Wait. I did make this change. It has not got saved here. Anyway, you answer this question that I've written here. हाँ जी, ये वाला आंसर करो फटाफट. What I've written. So, see this. When we talk about someone's characteristics, also someone's traits, someone's qualities, also, you want to say, express here that from the time that you know him, okay, since the time that you know him, you've never seen him or you've never uh, really thought or you've never seen, thought, etc., him to be angry. Okay, you want to indicate that since the time I know him, I know this that okay, he is not an angry person. So to express this idea, of, of this time, since the time I know him. Okay, I will use this structure. I have not known him to be angry. I have not known him to be angry. So that means, in my opinion, he's not a short tempered person. Okay, I has not known is anyway rejected. Been knowing, remember, no cannot be used in the continuous tense. I did not know him to be angry. Uh, I mean, I did not know him to be angry would work with an adverb of time. I did not know, but because here the idea that you want to express is जब से मैं उसको जानती हूँ, so this does not fit here. The simple tense would not cut it. Hence, the second one. Okay, all right. The fourth one would cut better. The fourth one would look better if I mention an adverb of time. Okay, here, that which specific point of time am I talking about? When I do not mention that time, no, when I do not mention that adverb of time, the perfect tense is better. Okay, so for instance, my friend uh, has, let's say, done has done a master's course. So here, of course, your friend may have done it ages back. It's possible, right, that she did it 10 years back. But because the time is not specified, the time is indefinite, not specified, the perfect tense is better. Okay, rather than saying my friend did a master's course. Same logic here. Clear, Sahil? Okay. All right then. So this is it for today. I hope things are clear to you. Any question that's not clear, you can ask me. These are our CAT 2022 toppers. You can see the high percentiles that they've achieved, right? This is our CAT 2023 comprehensive program. And again, you can see how many features are available here. No dearth of material. Our mocks are starting from April 6. Okay. And to make this course, to make this batch, this program accessible for you, we have a scholarship. For this, you have to take a scholarship test on the 1st of April at 7 p.m. If you score well, you can get up to a 90% scholarship. Okay, and if you're confused about how to manage CAT, along with studies, along with job, a very common query that students have, then you can attend this workshop on the 4th at 7 p.m. Tips for CMAT, we'll conduct full-fledged sessions on CMAT. Don't worry about it. Okay, so I'll give you all the tips and tricks then. And in case you fall short of questions when you look for material online, then we have some quizzes for you on our app. Okay, these are free quizzes, section wise quizzes. All the CMAT aspirants, yes, they'll be very useful for you. So download the app and attempt now. And yes, do join us on various platforms. I'm sure you've subscribed to the YouTube channel. You can also find us on Telegram, right? When you download the app, you'll see some of our other sessions also on vocabulary, grammar, etc. And we are there on various social media platforms as well. Right? So I hope you found today's lecture useful. If you have any queries later on also, if you feel that, okay, this is not clear, just post it in the comment section. I'll reply there. Okay? All right then. Bye-bye. See you. Welcome, welcome. Bye.